In this episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about using sheet ghosts for an authentic haunted house look, being given the gift of cabin fever, how creepy children really are, and making ants kiss, in our discussion of A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about books that is full of spoilers. Spit, apparently. Every week, we discuss a different book in way too much juicy detail. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to discuss A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. And I'm not spitting, I'm vomiting.
I'm sorry. It was an accident, and nobody even knows about it. It happened before we clicked record.
You're the one telling everybody!
I know!
It's on you.
It is, you're right.
Standard disclaimer, this podcast has spit in it.
It does.
Give us the real one.
Standard disclaimer. If you haven't read this book, please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read or listened and don't want to be spoiled, stop listening to us and go read or listen to the book. Then come back. If you haven't done this but want to pretend that you have, or if you don't care about spoilers, or if you just like the show so much that you don't care about any of that, then listen up.
The book's 50 years old.
Only 50?
Something like, possibly 60. To be fair though, this is the first time that I've read it. However, it's still old.
Yeah, it's very old. It's very, very old. But that's perfect with our new monthly theme about time. What is time? What time is it? Time is a flat circle. Whatever you choose to call our theme. It's all about time. It's all about time this month.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So, this book does feature time travel, but also it's 180 years old.
At least.
It's not really. But now I'm curious, how actually old is it?
January 1st, 1962.
That's 64 years ago.
Well, there you go. 64 years old.
64
and
years
the
old.
movie with Oprah was a good few years ago.
Uh-huh. It was. Yeah. And there's a graphic novel that's also a good many years old.
There was a made-for-TV movie that's on Amazon, I saw. That was done like the early noughties. Yeah, the Disney Oprah Winfrey one was 2018. So
Yes. It's been a while.
any statute of limitations is past.
On spoilers, you mean? We can spoil everything?
Yes.
Wait, don't we do that anyway?
I mean, we do anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get into it. Give us the background information, if that isn't enough for you.
That
already.
was a lot of background information, but I did find something that I found interesting. In 1997, women from the Fuller community sat with celebrated author Madeleine L'Engle for a conversation on children's literature. This interview was originally published as Too Difficult for Children in Theology, News, and Notes in December of 1997. So this is a long time ago, this interview. But there were some things that I really appreciated from it. Madeleine says, "It was a wonderful book to write, and I thought it was the best thing I had ever written, so I was not prepared for 2.5 years of rejections. You can't name a major publisher who didn't reject it. One reason was that it didn't categorize. When I occasionally got a human response instead of a printed rejection form," which this is hilarious because this is in 1997 that she's saying this, and in the 60s when she wrote it, but I still appreciated when she got a human response instead of a printed rejection form, it would be, "Who is this book for? Is this book for children? Is this book for grown-ups?" She said, "It is for people."
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I really like that. She goes on to say, "I'm grateful that no one told me you write differently for children or that you use easier words." My idea is that when you write a book, you write the best book you can possibly write. I don't believe I know what a children's book is. If it's not good enough for me, it's not good enough for a child. You can always tell when a book has been written for children. There's something condescending and unreal about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I really liked that.
I like that as well.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's annoying when you're looking at YA books. Because, you know, obviously Fictional Hangover was first and foremost a YA podcast.
Yes.
And we've evolved in the 17 billion years how we've been doing the podcast. That you get, like, oh, you read YA, but you're a grown adult. It's like, yeah, but have you read YA? It's complex. There's issues.
Yeah.
You just, you know... Books are books and people should enjoy. You know, there's picture books I've seen that are absolutely freaking amazing and I enjoy them more than the child ever did. So
Yes. They're all very good. I mean, not all of them.
yeah, exactly. No, but as long as it doesn't matter as long as you're reading.
Yeah. And who cares if you're reading a, quote, children's book?
They're good.
Yeah, just read.
Yeah, just read a book.
Yeah. Anyway, what are your initial thoughts about this one?
Read what brings you joy.
Yes, indeed.
This is definitely a book. And it is a book that I have now read.
Yes.
And it was my first time reading said book.
Yes.
I didn't really know anything about it. I hadn't seen the Disney movie. I watched that last night.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know much about it, apart from there was potential time travel and something to do with space.
Yes.
And Oprah Winfrey.
Yes. Yes.
Oprah Winfrey's not in the book.
No. But I wish she was. But she's
No,
not. She was not. But she is, yeah. I first read this one when I read the graphic novel. I read the graphic novel first, and then I went back and read the original one. I did it as a graphic novel book club with children in the library, and it was a very long time ago. So I wanted to be able to answer questions that they might have had, because some stuff is left out of the graphic novel, obviously. So I wanted to be able to answer any questions they had, so I read the actual book too. And yeah, that's that.
Let's dive into the summary then.
I just feel like we should say that it is a book of its time, as we learned.
Oh God, yes. 1962.
Yes. So obviously there's gonna be some things that are different. But I feel like we might have glossed over a lot of those in the summary.
I would just say this book would never get published now. As is. There would be some fundamental changes that would need to take place.
It would need some heavy editing. For sure.
Yes. Please see our summary.
Yes, yes. But the baseline story is very cool.
It is. It is. But I think that's a lot. It could be said with a lot. But Lord of the Rings would never get published now, and it's foundational in terms of fantasy fiction.
Yeah.
So it's just one of these things, you know.
Yeah.
Audiences change, publishing changes.
Yes. Yeah.
Cultural norms change, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Let's just dive into it.
Yeah. Okay. As all good stories should start, it was a dark and stormy night. Margaret, Meg Murray, in her attic bedroom, was watching the storm outside, wrapped in her blanket. Like, she had a really bad day at school, and it was filled with garbage people, which we don't like. She didn't even get an ounce of concern or sympathy from her twin brothers, Sandy and Dennis, about a run-in with a bully. Meg wishes her dad were here, but she doesn't know where he is or when he's coming back. Meg feels lonely. Even her little brother, Charles Wallace, who usually comes to bother her when she's in a crappy mood, is fast asleep.
From downstairs, Meg can hear Fortinbras, the family dog, barking. Her imagination goes wild about what's disturbed Fortinbras, and she tiptoes downstairs to investigate, banging against all the furniture and toys. Graceful, she is not. Deciding hot chocolate would be a better idea than her doom and gloom imagination, Meg heads to the kitchen and runs into Charles Wallace, who has been waiting for her. Fortinbras at his feet and milk heating on the stove.
Oh, that's so nice. Charles Wallace he's got some milk on the stove. Oh, he's such a good brother. Yeah, he's 5.
He's 5.
He's 5, everyone, which...
And it'll be a gas stove as well.
Mm-hmm.
Open flame.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
My anxiety spiked at this thought.
I know, it's stressful. Okay. So, Charles Wallace is 5. But, like, terrifyingly astute. This is a very creepily intelligent child. Their father told Meg, before he disappeared, that he tested both Meg and Charles Wallace through games and that they both have the potential to grow up to be whatever they want to be. Sandy and Dennis, though, nah. They're normies.
They're loosey-goosey.
They are not destined to be anything they want to be. They have to be whatever is appropriate for them at the time. Minimum wage workers at the time.
It could be prison.
They could be destined for prison.
They're very fast and loose with with throwing a fist.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Meg checks the milk and sees that the pan is full. And when she comments to Charles Wallace, he simply says he thought Mother would like some too. And in walks their mom.
Creep. Honestly, he's really creepy.
He's so creepy. While Charles Wallace makes his mom and sister an exclusive sandwich. 5-year-old exclusivity. Mrs. Murray examines Meg's bruises and tells her about the conversation she had with the bully's mom. Meg complains about being an oddball, and Charles Wallace says he's going to tell Mrs. Whatsit about her. When asked who Mrs. Whatsit is, Charles Wallace will only say he met her after chasing Fortinbras a few days ago, and he says she lives in the haunted house in the woods with her friends. Suddenly, Fortinbras starts growling at Mrs. Murray's lab door.
Mrs. Murray goes to investigate and comes back with Mrs. Whatsit, covered in many scarves and a felt hat perched upon her head. Apparently, Mrs. Whatsit was blown off course. They offer her a tuna fish sandwich, with her wet boots off, her stomach full of sandwiches and being warm inside and out. Mrs. Whatsit declares it's time for her to go home. Mrs. Whatsit shoves her boots back on. She tells Mrs. Murray that there is such a thing as a tesseract, which stops Mrs. Murray in her tracks. What? It's a very insane conversation. Like,
yeah.
Everything
is weird.
Boom, 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 boom,
yes.
boom, boom. Yeah. It's somewhat difficult to keep track as well.
Yeah. And then she's like, okay, bye.
Toodles!
Yeah. The next morning, Meg wakes up, hoping the events of the evening before were a dream, but they were not. The morning doesn't get any better at school. She's tired and distracted. Her sarcasm goes unappreciated by the teacher, and the principal is an antagonistic, gaslighting jerk to her about her father's disappearance. Air quotes literally added by the principal, not us. Which does seem like something we would do.
Yeah. But not in this case.
But not this time. Once home from school, Charles Wallace takes Meg on a walk to Mrs. Whatsit's house with Fortinbras. He wants to find out about the Tesseract and to warn them about stealing sheets from washing lines.
As they approach the haunted house, Fortinbras starts growling at someone who Meg recognises as Calvin from a couple of grades above her. When Charles Wallace questions him about his whys and what fors, Calvin is shocked that Charles Wallace isn't the dumb kid everyone thinks he is, but is in fact disconcertingly intelligent and perceptive. We would also add creepy.
Yes.
Yes. Calvin calls himself a sport amongst his family, which Charles Wallace understands from the dictionary means he's the odd one out in the house. When asked why he's at Mrs. Watson's house, Calvin says he felt he needed to be there. Charles Wallace is satisfied and decides to trust Calvin and invite him to dinner to their house. First, though, they need to visit Mrs. Watson.
Inside Mrs. Watson's house, the group finds a new bespectacled lady feverishly sewing the stolen sheets. This is Mrs. Who, and she is making sheet ghosts to help perpetuate the image of the haunted house. I love it so much. I love it so much. This sounds reasonable and entirely logical to us in present day.
Yes. Yes.
In the 60s? Really? The kids tell her, though, that, she and her friends should stop stealing bed sheets from washing lines. Mrs. Who keeps talking in different languages and making strange statements that Meg doesn't understand, but Charles Wallace seems to because he's creepy. In the end, Mrs. Who tells them to get plenty of food and rest. The time is not ripe yet to help their father. On the way to the Murray house for dinner, Calvin feels like he's going home.
Mrs. Murray is in the lab with an experiment, but there is a big vat of stew cooking in the kitchen that Calvin will later eat 5 bowls of. Meg helps him with his math homework because she's a whiz at numbers after her dad's number games when she was little, but any other subject mystifies her. Calvin is the opposite. Throughout the evening, Calvin feels more at home and so happy he's found Meg and Charles Wallace, people he can actually talk to. After dinner, Meg and Calvin go for a walk out to the vegetable garden behind the house.
Calvin questions Meg about her father. He's a physicist with multiple PhDs and has worked in different places, and usually they would all go with him, but with his last job, they came here to what was typically their summer home while he went elsewhere to work. Also, there's a lot of questions here and floating around with other adults, such as the principal, who is a scumbag, about her mom being so pretty and why would your dad leave your mom? Because she's so hot. And it's weird.
Yeah, it was icky. It's icky.
It's weird.
It's icky. I did not like it.
No. Anyway, Meg's father and mother would write to each other every day, and though his letters stopped, their mother continued. They don't know where he is or what he's doing, and no one will give them answers. Meg starts crying, and Calvin gives her compliments on her pretty eyes when she takes her glasses off, P.S., when Charles Wallace appears, followed by Mrs. Whatsit and Mrs. Who, and only the voice of Mrs. Witch, because it takes too much time and energy for her to appear. And they need to get going now if they are to save Mr. Murray. Can I just say that I really appreciate Mrs. Witch? She's like, nah, I can't, it's too much. It's too much for me to appear physically, so I'm just gonna ghost my voice in, because I'm old. I'm old and I don't wanna.
I'm just going to dial in. See, this, I relate so much to Mrs. Witch, because if I can just dial into the meeting, I will just dial in for the meeting. If I can work from home that day, I will do so.
Yeah.
And that's clearly Mrs. Witch. She's got a very modern mentality, and I completely respect that.
Yeah.
What I don't respect is Calvin taking off Meg's glasses and going, "Oh, you have beautiful blue eyes," and then telling her to constantly wear the glasses so her blue eyes are just for him. It's not cute. It was ick.
Yeah.
At least it was ick for me.
Yeah, don't like it.
No.
But your mom's super hot, though, so just know that.
Oh, it's fine. Your mom's super hot. Suddenly, the wind starts to get stronger and stronger until Meg can't see and loses sight and grip of both Charles Wallace and Calvin. When everything is clear again, they are most definitely in a new place. Mrs. Watson and Mrs. Who are with them. Mrs. Witch, still mostly a voice, and they explain they used a wrinkle to transport them to Uriel, the third planet of the star Malak in the spiral nebula Messa 101. Obviously,
duh. Duh. This is a safe stopping point until they can continue their journey to help Mr. Murray. Mrs. Watson, being the youngest and most able, transforms. I'm already broken about it.
I love this so much.
She transforms into an androgynous, sexy centaur Pegasus. It takes Charles Wallace, Meg, and Calvin on a flight around Uriel. They see dozens of the sexy centaur Pegasus creatures singing with their wings. Fields, streams, and a huge mountain. One of the sexy centaur Pegasuses hands the children a flower each at Mrs. Watson's request. They'll need them in a little bit. How'd they pluck the flower? I feel like centaurs are really tall. How'd they reach down? Anyway.
You see, but centaurs have got human arms, don't they?
Yeah, but they also have horse bodies.
Front legs go down to a kneel. Arms reach out, pluck. I've thought about the sexy centaur Pegasus far too much. Do you know how many times I had to listen to this bit to go, hang on, was that a sexy centaur Pegasus? That sounds like a sexy centaur Pegasus.
Yeah.
It did. And I stand by that description.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's accurate. I don't even know where we left off. Oh, yes, they've plucked the flower. I'm just imagining that they have really long arms.
I mean, why?
Because it takes a lot of effort for a horse to kneel down.
Goodness
I want them
knows.
to have really
Goodness
long, like, noodly arms.
They could, because let's face
And they
it,
do.
we're dealing
And they
with
do
something
now.
weird. Yes, it's canon.
Yeah. As Mrs. Watson in Sexy Centaur Pegasus, androgynous Sexy Centaur Pegasus form, flies them higher and higher up the mountain and the air thins, she instructs them to breathe through the flowers. When they land, she tells them to keep watch of the horizon. Soon, they see a black shadow. It feels evil. Mrs. Watson takes them back to Mrs. Who and Mrs. Witch, and Meg asks if the black thing is what her father is fighting.
Mrs. Witch confirms that Mr. Murray is behind the shadow, and that's just where they're going to go now.
Oh, all right!
This terrifies the children. Mrs. Watson explains to Meg they will tether where they need to go. They will create a wrinkle to shorten the distance and time to get there. She tries to explain what that is using an example that Meg doesn't get about an ant going from point A to point B on fabric, but Charles Wallace is able to put it into mathematical terms so she can understand it. Taking Calvin's hand in hers, Meg is ready to go. This section, right, annoyed the life out of me because it just went on too much. Like, the book has literal diagrams of two hands and a cloth and an ant and it's squares and cubes, and it's like this is an example of why this book would never get published now, because you don't need that level. You don't need the ant analogy and then for a 5-year-old to instruct you in this mathematical stuff. I got the ant analogy.
Yeah.
Which I get, you know, I don't have the same brain wave as Meg, but it went on too long. I was like, what the heck? Anywho, I'm going to stop before I go on too long.
Moving through the Tesseract is really strange. There was great pressure, then feeling nothing, then tingling as sensation came back. Soon they arrive in Orion's belt so they can visit a friend, the happy medium, so the children can look back on their own planet. Walking instead of bending time and space, they head to a cave where they see the medium staring into a crystal ball. The medium beckons them to look into the ball and see the Milky Way and Earth, which is covered in the dark thing. Shocking no one. It has been there for many, many years, and I imagine it is still here today.
Yes, yes, yes. Mrs. Witch, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Watson explain that many people have been fighting the dark thing for a very long time. Mostly Earth's greatest artists and scientists and philosophers, giving them light to see by. Mr. Murray is also a great fighter, and he's now on a planet that has given in to the darkness. They're interrupted by the medium who shows them a shadow moving through the Milky Way that is suddenly pierced by light, driving the darkness away and leaving stars and starlight visible again. What they just saw was a star giving up its life in the battle with the thing. Charles Wallace realises Mrs. Watson was once a star who did the same thing. Before they leave, Medium shows them their mothers. Calvin's mom is not pleasant. She's an abusive hag.
She is. And it makes it worse that there's like 11 of them.
Yes. Calvin didn't want to see his mom. But it explains why earlier he felt like he was at home at the Murray house.
And probably why he ate 5 bowls of soup.
Yes. Mrs. Murray looks sad, which gives Meg the oomph to carry on and find her father. She has no room for fear now.
Using a wrinkle again. Please insert diagram. Ant hands. Like, I don't want to backtrack to that. Using a wrinkle again. The group travels to Camazotz, the dark planet where Mr. Murray is fighting. I would also just like to insert here that one of the reasons why I thought we should cover this book is because of Stranger Things and how they were talking about they were talking about this book a lot in the final season of Stranger Things.
I haven't seen the final season.
Spoiler alert. They reference this book a lot in the final season of Stranger Things. I thought it would be appropriate because I thought a lot of people would be like, what is this book? So we got to tell them about it.
It's fine.
Anyway, the landscape seems familiar with smokestacks from a nearby town in view, an autumnal feel in the air, and familiar trees. The misses must leave the children now, but they will be watching. Before they go, Mrs. Whatsit gives them a talisman each. Meg gets her faults. Aww.
Nice.
Calvin gets his ability to communicate. Aww. And to Charles Wallace, he gets the resilience of his childhood.
Really, Meg wanted some hair and nail products. Calvin wants some new trainers. Charles Wallace, he just wants some colouring books. Maybe someone else to make the sandwich. They've already got these things.
Yeah,
it's not a gift, it's a reminder.
That's not a good gift. That's not how you give people things for their birthday or whatever.
No.
Oh, Claire, I am giving you your desire to drink coffee.
Strange. I really fancy some coffee right now.
Well, I'm giving that to you.
Imagine going up with someone. Oh, I'm going to give you your faults, right? You're a moaning, whingy little twerp who has no confidence
No.
or self-respect.
No. You're kind of a bitch.
Thank you.
So I'm giving you that. Here you go.
You know what? You can be a jerk. Get present.
Here you go. Also, I feel like I just need to interject here again as well that there is no plural in the English language for Mrs. with the MRS period, and it's not often spelled out. And I went on a really long rabbit hole trying to find that out. That's what happens when I don't work for a week. So many rabbit holes. So many. Yep.
All I did was a quick Google. And it said, no, there is not. I went, fine.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I wrote several into the summary when I got to this point, because you wrote this summary. And then I wanted to investigate it because I had never seen this before. And again, as I said, frozen in at home, unable to leave the house. Amanda needs something to do. And it is investigate weird spellings of things. But I think the one that I made up, one of them that I made up, was really good. And everyone should use it.
I appreciate your cabin fever.
ES period. Yeah.
I very much appreciate your cabin fever.
Thank you. Is that what you're giving me? Is that my gift?
Yes, your cabin fever. Yes, I'm giving you the gift of cabin fever.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Where did we leave off? Mrs. Who then gives Calvin a hint from Shakespeare's The Tempest. Charles Wallace a quote that he does not know everything. And Meg, here she gets something cool. Other than, you're a bitch. She gives Meg her glasses for the final moment of peril. Mrs. Witch gives all her command to go to town and to stay together, especially Charles Wallace, who she reminds not to be arrogant and prideful.
He's 5, man.
He's 5, but he's a creep.
He's 5. He's an intelligent creep, but he's still only 5. Anyway, the town is off. Everything is in rhythm, be it playing with a ball or opening doors or skipping rope, and all the houses are exactly the same. That is, until one child playing with a ball stands out as being out of rhythm. His mother dashes from the house and brings the child inside, leaving the ball on the ground. Charles Wallace picks it up and decides to return it. The mother denies the boy dropped the ball. That hasn't happened in years to any child in the neighbourhood.
No one dropped a ball.
Child drops a ball.
How disgusting.
The neighbours are curtain twitching, watching what's happening. Suddenly slam their doors. The boy reaches from the shadows and grabs the ball from Charles Wallace, and then the mother slams their door too. It's really weird.
It's really weird.
It's a very Pleasantville. It's a very Pleasantville.
I do not love that the child reached from the shadows. I got creeped out by that.
Children are creepy.
Children are creepy. The children in this book are creepy.
Yeah.
Continuing on, the wrongness also continues. A paper boy stops and questions Meg, Calvin, and Charles Wallace's presence, and it sounds really funny, everything that he is saying to them. It's very, very weird. They do find out about needing papers. Something called the Central Intelligence Center, which they find a short time later. Standing outside Central Intelligence, the adults rushing in and out seem like robots, but Charles Wallace knows that's not right. They decide they need to go inside and investigate, but Calvin has a terrible feeling that they're walking into danger. Yeah.
That's not the massive observation that you think it is.
No.
Because you're already establishing a very creepy, weird place that is surrounded by darkness. Yeah. Together they walk into Central Intelligence. Inside is cold and it's devoid of any personality. The people are like statues. They walk to the blank fourth wall and it feels off. They decide to ask someone and talk to a man who talks to them about filling in the correct forms and feeding it to the wall, and that he's regretfully going to have to report them for reprocessing, which sounds painful.
Yeah.
It also sounds very invasive. The man takes them to the fourth wall, selects a paper from the stack and feeds it to the wall. The wall suddenly disappears, revealing a room filled with a giant computer and machines. Stepping into the room and down the centre for what feels like miles, Charles Wallace feels a presence, and it's not good. At the end of the room is a platform with a man with red eyes sitting on a chair in the centre.
The man doesn't use his voice to communicate, but the children can hear him perfectly. Disturbingly, he's been waiting for them. He tries to hypnotize them with the times tables, but they resist with nursery rhymes and the Gettysburg Address. The man gives them a turkey dinner after Meg complains of being hungry. To Meg and Calvin, it tastes delicious, but Charles Wallace, who the man says has a different brain, it tastes like sand. No. It's after this that Charles Wallace faces off against the man despite Mrs. Witch's warnings of him not being arrogant. Charles Wallace is almost immediately possessed by the man and is gone. He's 5.
Dumb kid. Dumb kid. Possessed Charles Wallace continues to eat the now delicious turkey dinner, but Calvin and Meg hold on to him so they aren't separated. Charles Wallace is able to break free with the help of the men in the black smocks that surround them. Charles Wallace claims the man with red eyes is their friend, and the planet is orderly because everybody submits. Calvin demands the man with red eyes tell them who he is, and he calls himself the Prime Coordinator. Charles Wallace then leads Meg and Calvin away, supposedly to Mr. Murray.
As they walk, Meg reminds Calvin of his gift to communicate from Mrs. Whatsit.
Just basically means he can do small talk.
Calvin
It's that person.
Calvin tries to engage Charles Wallace in conversation. Oh, how's the weather? How's it going? I don't know how.
Do you have a nice weekend? You got any holidays planned?
No.
You've done something new with your hair.
No, because
Have you
I'm
been watching
5.
the latest episodes of Stranger Things? They talk about a book called A Wrinkle In Time.
Calvin tries to chit-chat with Charles Wallace, but he won't have any more hanky-panky and resists Calvin's efforts, telling Meg and Calvin they should submit to it. It has made Camisards a wonderful planet. There's no illness or deformity because they annihilate anyone who presents even the smallest sniffle. Dead.
Euthanize you, we euthanize you, you euthanize you.
These are my gifts that I'm giving to you.
Death, 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 death.
Yikes. Charles Wallace rearranges some atoms for them to enter an elevator and takes Meg and Calvin up. It's a creepy and threatening ride, as Charles Wallace explains that everyone on Camisards is of one mind. It's its mind, which is really weird to say it's. Now walking down a corridor, they go past a room with the boy from that afternoon whose ball didn't bounce in rhythm. Then they reach a room with a man in a large, round, transparent column. Meg screams, "Father!"
Oh, no, I'm sorry. If you're going to scream the word father, it has to be done like Matt Berry from the It crowd. And we love Matt Berry. Matt Berry gives us life. And in the It crowd, he goes to his father's funeral, walks in and goes, "Father!"
That's amazing.
You have to look up the clip of this on YouTube. It's hilarious. I now have my child screaming that at all possible moments. We love it.
That's fantastic. I've never watched the IT crowd. Like I've watched a couple of episodes of it, but I've never watched it.
You don't need to watch it. Just Google Matt Berry father It crowd.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
I will.
Okay. So, father is trapped in the column, and Charles Wallace tells them they must submit to it. But they're not having that. Calvin tries to break Charles Wallace free from its hold, remembering the quote from The Tempest, and starts to work. But ultimately, it fails.
Wah, wah.
Meg then remembers Mrs. Who's glasses. Pulling them from her pocket, Charles Wallace growls and tries to grab them, but Meg quickly puts them on and goes through the column and to her father. Without Mrs. Who's glasses, the column prison is pitch black, so Meg gives them to her father, who is able to see and escape, coming back for her a moment later. Back in the room, it, through Charles Wallace, is exceedingly displeased.
Charles Wallace acts like the little brat. He isn't, really, and insists they go to it. He takes them out of Central Intelligence, down the street, to a giant domed building. Inside, on a dais, is a giant, oversized, pulsing brain. This is it. It is repulsive. The pulsing starts to overtake Meg's mind when she remembers what Mrs. Whatsit said. She will need her faults, and one of her faults is stubbornness. Here's my gift to you. Meg starts shouting the Declaration of Independence, then the periodic table of elements. Then her father asks her mathematics questions until she hears Calvin shout to her father to Tesser. Meg then feels her father grip her wrists, and she's pulled through a wrinkle. Now, if you don't know what a wrinkle is, there's one ant, and here's the other ant.
Make ants kiss. When Meg, Calvin and Mr. Murray exit the wrinkle, they arrive on a different planet. Meg is partially frozen and paralysed. Oops. But she can still hear her father and Calvin talking. Mr. Murray explains how he accidentally ended up on Camazotz when he was really heading for Mars, because tessering is very complicated. I imagine. Slowly, Meg is able to move, but she still feels frozen. She asks where Charles Wallace is, but it had too much of a hold on him, and he's still on Camazotz. Meg feels anger at her father for tessering away to an unknown planet, for leaving Charles Wallace behind, at Calvin for telling him to do it, and for finding her father, but he hasn't instantly made everything all right. He's only human. Suddenly, 3 tall, strange, eyeless, furry, tentacled creatures approach. When one of the creatures touches Meg, she feels warmth and comfort.
That's nice. I was so mad at this scene. Like,
yeah.
Meg. Look, you don't have to use your gifts right now, dude. Nobody wants your gifts. You keep them to yourself. Stop yelling at your dad.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand a certain level of resentment.
Father.
I can understand a certain level of resentment. You know, he's been gone. She didn't know where he was. A kid is having to go and rescue the adult. That's
right.
Not right.
That's rough.
We've discussed that before.
Yeah.
But he's
been in a tube.
As far as I can see, he made a decision to rescue Calvin and Meg, knowing he can't rescue Charles Wallace at the moment, but has intentions to at least try at a later time. Sometimes you have to retreat to get strong enough to go back in to defeat the bad guy.
Yeah. And
But Meg doesn't...
he was in a tube.
Unless it's right in front of her face, she doesn't think about...
No. And I'm going to say it again. He was in a tube. He has been in a tube for who knows how long.
Well, exactly. Because this is wrinkles in times and spaces. We don't know how many ants have been kissing near him.
We don't know. But also it's the same ant. So it's kissing itself.
Kissing itself.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
See, sci-fi's confusing, but I love it.
The creatures take Meg to be healed from it, while Mr. Murray and Calvin get cleaned up, rest, and eat. Meg wakes in the dark with one creature who, through some interesting back and forth, is come to be known as Ant Beast.
Because it's a better creature.
I don't know that I would choose that name. The creature sings to Meg, feeds her, and keeps her warm with furs. Every touch radiates kindness, warmth, and trust. Once Meg is better, she is reunited with her father and Calvin, and they share breakfast. Meg is still angry with her father for leaving Charles Wallace behind, and Mr. Murray feels the guilt of it, probably because she won't stop yelling at him. The caregiver creatures promise to help as much as they can, but their help is limited as they cannot tesser to a planet covered in darkness and shadow from their planet, which we find out is called Ixal. They struggle to form a plan, and Meg insists that they need the help of the Mrs. W's. And she screams at them for not being there. Suddenly, Mrs. Who, Mrs. Whatsit, and Mrs. Witch appear with a loud, "We are here."
Now shut up, Meg.
Stop using your gift, Meg.
Inside voice, Meg. Respect your elders, Meg. After some discussion as to what they should do next, and Meg denying the truth loudly, she finally understands only she can rescue Charles Wallace. Meg is closest to Charles Wallace, and he understands her. Resolved to this, and despite Mr. Murray and Calvin's protests, Meg agrees she should be the one who goes back for him. Before she is tested to Camazotz, Mrs. Whatsit gives Meg her love. Mrs. Who gives her a quote, "May the right prevail," and Mrs. Witch takes her to Camazotz and gives Meg advice that her only weapon is what she has, and it does not. Yay, cryptic help!
Yay, it's the best kind of help. Meg walks through the deathly quiet streets, past Central Intelligence, and straight to it. On the dais, the giant brain that is it sits pulsing, and beside it is a possessed Charles Wallace. Meg starts to feel hatred, fierce and burning hatred at it controlling her little brother, and at the hurtful things it is making Charles Wallace say. But when it makes Charles Wallace say that Mrs. Whatsit hates Meg, she knows for sure it is lying, and what she has that it does not. Are you ready for this, everyone? It's love. Love. She has love and gives love, which is more than it can do, and Meg can love Charles Wallace. Meg tells Charles Wallace that she loves him over and over and over again. And then again and again.
Charles Wallace starts, yeah. A bit more.
Again and again and again. 2 or 3 more times.
Charles Wallace starts to come back to himself, and he runs into Meg's arms. Suddenly Meg smells autumn and feels earth beneath them. They and their father and Calvin are now in the family's vegetable garden. Mrs. Murray and the twins come out of the house to call Meg inside from her walk with Calvin. To them, only moments have passed. Then they spot Mr. Murray with Meg and Charles Wallace and Calvin amongst the vegetables. The family are reunited with hugs and kisses and laughing and declarations. Meg can also feel the love of Mrs. Whatsit, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Witch, who will appear in front of them and just as quickly are taken away by a gust of wind.
Hi, my name is Annie. I love gardening and all things Jane Austen. Join me as I attempt to turn my 10 acres in rural Oklahoma into an English garden suitable for a Jane Austen heroine. Find me on YouTube and Instagram at Pemberley, Oklahoma.
Let's think of the core line of the book, the core story, and not all of the weird things from the 60s that we did not like. Because then the book is really good.
Include some of it.
What?
We didn't even include some of it.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I don't know how many times Calvin calls Charles Wallace a moron in his first little introduction, but it's a lot.
Oh, it happens a few times.
Yeah.
They're not very nice to each other, really. I suppose, though, if you do that to your friends, though, you don't call each other by happy, fluffy names.
No, but also he's 5. No, so you're not that weird little moron that everyone thinks you are, huh? Like, I'm
Hey, you're not dumb!
I'm really surprised
like,
that we didn't use the R word.
Oh, yes. But Charles Wallace is like, yeah, but I can't read. He says he can't read. He's 5 years old. I'm sorry, but by the time you're 5, you should be able to identify some basic letters.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to get too far ahead, so he doesn't embarrass the other nursery children when he eventually goes to school. At 5, you should be at freaking school. Come on.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought that explanation was a little weak sauce. But I did quite like Charles Wallace. I liked it when he was being a little turd, when he was possessed by it. And I kind of liked his creepiness, the fact he was a creepy little kid.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact he was called Charles Wallace. I got freaking annoyed by that. Charles Wallace, Charles Wallace, Charles Wallace. Why don't you just go with Charles? Or why don't you just go with
Charles
Wallace? Charles Wallace.
Charles Wallace.
Charles Wallace.
Charles Wallace.
If you're gonna shorten Margaret to Meg, why aren't you shortening Charles Wallace?
Well, Charles Wallace is so much more pretentious than Meg. And he's like, well, that's my name. My name is Charles Wallace. I'm 5 and I'm a creep. So you must call me Charles Wallace. It's his preferred name. And we're not going to shame that. If that's his
preferred name, that's fine. That's fine. No shade if it's his preferred name.
We're putting it into our terms now. We're advancing it in the future. 64 years. Ugh, no.
Maybe Chaz. Hey, Chaz.
Oh, no, don't call him Chaz.
Charlie boy.
He would hate that. He would hate being called Chaz.
If Charles Wallace was my little brother, I would never call him Charles Wallace. Every single time I addressed him, it would be by something different.
Uh-huh.
It'd be like Lord Akeldama when he talks to Alexia, and he uses a different flower or fruit.
A different pet name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just come up with a million different ways to shorten his name. I don't want to call him Chaz, though, but I'm thinking Chucky Walls. I'm feeling Chucky Walls right now.
Chucky Walls. I like Chucky Walls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's fun.
Not Chaz, though.
You'll get one Chaz.
One Chaz. Yeah.
One Chaz.
Yeah. I think, again, 64 years old, this book. I think I like the idea of the book and like what I remember of it more than the actual book itself.
Yes. I think the core story is better than the execution.
Yeah. I like going to different planets. I like making ants kiss.
Yes.
I think
aliens are actual aliens.
Actual, real, weird aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Androgynous, sexy, centaur Pegasuses.
Sisses.
Yeah, I like that. I like going to these different planets. There was also another planet that they mentioned and that they almost stopped at, but then they were like, nah, I can't do that. And it was a 2D planet. I would have loved to have stopped there, like a little Paper Mario planet.
Yes. Yes. Like, Nintendo quite clearly, or the author, some royalties there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I liked that bit of it. I like that science fiction-y bit of it. But it's like such light science fiction. There's no real descriptions of anything. There's no real science behind it. But I like it.
Just ants kissing.
Just ants kissing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I agree. I like the science fiction of it. That wasn't very thick science fiction. And I like the core concept that they need to go and rescue the dad who didn't accidentally Tessa to the wrong place and is trying to fight this great evil. I don't know how he's supposed to be fighting this great evil. I think he, I get the impression that Mr. Murray went in the first fight and then just, got captured straight away. So he's not doing a grand job.
Yes.
And I like the fact that Meg and Charles Wallace and Calvin are slightly different, and the fact that they are oddballs or not fitting into they're not conforming.
Yes,
is there to their benefit. I like that.
Yeah, I like Calvin and that he's tall, and Meg is like, oh, but you're tall and you're popular and you play sports, and he's like, yeah, I play basketball because I am tall. Like, I don't have a choice.
Yes,
they just make me.
Yes. And he's like, I'm popular, but I don't really have anybody I can talk to.
Yeah.
I don't have proper friends.
They just like me because I'm tall.
On the basketball team.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I like that. It's like, don't judge people from the outward, what you see on the outside.
Yeah.
You get to know people. I like that. However, I feel like we got to know Meg a bit.
Yes.
And I found her deeply annoying and wanted her to shut up. But, I didn't get a sense of that.
I appreciate...
I tossed and turned between her being middle grade to early high school.
Yeah. We will talk about this more later. Perhaps, mayhap, in another episode. So I don't want to get into that right now. But... yeah, I feel middle grade. I feel like that's where she is.
It's because she said Calvin is a couple of grades ahead of her. She used the word grade rather than years, or it didn't fit. I don't know. Would a high schooler say that somebody who's, if they're in freshman, would they say seniors a couple of years grades or a couple of years ahead of them?
I think that's interchangeable here. I would have said grades. They're a couple grades ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think that's... I don't know.
Because I was wondering if that would give a sense of the age. But, okay, I think middle grade's probably the easiest. Middle ground.
I do like that... yeah, they're all different. We've said this. But and as much as it was annoying to us, I appreciate... that her strength was that she's stubborn.
Oh, I like stubborn. I don't mind stubborn. I don't see stubborn necessarily as a fault.
Yeah. I liked that. You're a stubborn bitch. And we need your stubborn bitchiness. We need it to survive. That's your gift. Here's your gift. I did appreciate that. I like that she's angry about how things are going. It did get tedious, her anger.
But I like the fact that she was angry.
Yes.
She was allowed to be angry.
Yes. Yes.
We just didn't need to vocalise him quite so much.
No. But I really liked that about Meg.
I feel like this would have been better potentially if she wasn't just the focal point. Because we had Charles Wallace, we had Calvin there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it moved away from Meg a little bit, just turn the focus just slightly onto them.
Yeah.
Because I liked them. I did. I liked Calvin. I thought he was a nice character, apart from the name calling and the weirdness with the glasses and... Yeah. Do you know what I found really creepy?
What?
The book's really creepy, actually. There was so much kissing. And I know we're saying Anne's kiss, but like at one point Charles Wallace was like, "Can I kiss you?" to one of the missus. And he's kind of like, "Yeah, go on." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And they kiss her on the cheek, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then there's more kissing and there's loads of hand holding.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's that there's certain people... I'm not a hand holder unless it's like my husband or my child. There's certain people I'll have a physical interaction with.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I'm just like, I wouldn't do it to a stranger.
Yeah. I think I want to look it up.
I don't know.
I want to look it up now, and I probably will. But does he say, "I shall like to kiss you now"? Is that the
Yes.
is that the quote? No.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
So it's something very like that. I should I should like to kiss you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's like at work, there's 3 or 4 people that if they're having a crappy time, they know they can come for me and I'll give them a hug.
Sure.
To make them feel better.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it to a stranger.
No, it's weird. I would not do it to an androgynous, sexy
centaur
Pegasus. I wish that's what she looked like all the time.
Yeah. I had to read that description so many times.
It's weird.
And I was like, is that right? And when they're with Aunt Beast, well, when Meg's with Aunt Beast, and they bring her a fur, they put her down, and I was like, if you just lay the carcass of one of the creatures on top of her, because they're described as really furry, tentacle creatures, and I was like, I think you've just laid a carcass. Have you skinned your mate?
I'm sure they would have.
It was just...
I'm sure they would have.
It was... I don't know, I think sometimes I just struggled with a little bit with the writing.
Yeah.
Like, the descriptions, I felt a little unsure that I was reading it right sometimes.
Yeah.
So I had to go back a little bit, and it's not a big book by any means. It's 232 pages.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, I had to keep reminding myself it's a book from the 60s.
Yes.
So the writing's going to be a little bit different.
Yes.
The religious dialogue, I can forgive to an extent because of the time and all that kind of stuff. But it was potentially, I think if you used the phrase before, flowery, and maybe it was a bit flowery.
I didn't find it flowery. I didn't, because I normally I like that. I like that in books, and it just, I think it's just vocabulary of its time.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. Saying that, I gave it a solid 3 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought the overlining story was good.
Yeah.
There was characters I liked. I loved the sci-fi element. I liked the fact that they can jump through time and space, and they can do it with a thought. They don't have to build something to be able to do it.
Yeah.
You just have to be a little bit different, and I like that.
Yeah.
And with Calvin having such a crappy family life, he needs that found family to feel safe and secure, and he has that with the Murrays.
Mm-hmm.
And there was that instant acceptance.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the making sheet ghosts from sheets of stole from somebody's washing line to perpetuate that they're living in a haunted house. That was sublime. I liked Mrs. Witch. I like Mrs. Witch, Mrs. Watson, Mrs. Who. I thought they were interesting characters. Like Mrs. Watson is a fallen star. I don't know, are the other two, are they angels? Are they just formed from the galaxy? We don't know, at least from this book. So there's a lot of it that I do like. I just think for me, it's necessarily the putting together. Like, my surprise is how abruptly it just seemed to end.
Yeah.
There was a lot of lead up. And then there was like that third act. Oh, you've left Charles Wallace behind. Was it Chucky Wally? You've left Chucky
Walls. Chucky Walls.
You've left Chucky Walls behind. You're a bad dad. And he's like, I'm not a bad dad. I'm saving my daughter as well. And her mate, stop kissing my daughter. Dad, you can't tell him that. You've been gone for 4 years. The whole backstory goes on my head.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I shall save Charles Wallace with love.
Love.
Vegetable garden. Gust of wind. The end.
Kind of liked that it ended that way.
Don't get us wrong, I don't need a Lord of the Rings 17 endings. But it just kind of was like, boom.
Yeah. Yeah. It just seemed like, the tessering is so quick. The ants kissing is so quick that, like, okay, well, you've gotten Charles Wallace, you've gotten Mr. Murray, that's what you've set out to do, and now you're done. So you come back.
Yeah, I get that.
And I get
that.
They just pile there in the vegetable garden. And no time has passed. But everyone is suddenly there. I don't know. I like it. I like the abruptness of it.
I don't dislike it. It just kind of...
You're right. It did just end.
Yeah. So it's not a matter of liking or disliking.
Right.
It just ended.
It
just stopped. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Fine. Now, I watched the movie last night.
I meant to, but I didn't. I have watched the movie before.
Fine.
I watched it when it came out. But I haven't seen it since then. The only thing I remember is that Oprah has beautiful rhinestone eyebrows.
Oprah has the makeup kit of your dreams.
Yeah.
She has the eyeshadow. She has the lipstick. She has the eyebrows you need in your life.
Yes. Yeah. That's the only thing I remember of it, really.
Reese Witherspoon's Mrs. Whatsit was really rude. Really, really rude. She's constantly saying that Meg's no good. Meg's not the right one. Meg's terrible. I don't think we should have brought her. Charles Wallace is adopted in the book. In the movie, sorry.
Oh, I was about to say, what? No.
No, in the movie, Charles Wallace is adopted. Mrs. Watts doesn't turn into the androgynous, sexy centaur Pegasus. She turns into this like leaf flower creature. Aunt Beast isn't in at all. The happy medium's played by
Zach Galifianakis. Yes.
And he's more of a yogi than he is like an oracle medium.
Yeah.
So he takes them through some like breathing exercises and things and gives them the sight that way, which I actually quite appreciated that. And they call the black thing, saying Camazotz for me in the book was a book that it was this planet that was taken over by the black thing, was taken over by it. And in the movie, the impression is given that Camazotz is the home planet of it, not necessarily where it is currently is and it's invading. So there was kind of like this little mismatch of origins, which is fine.
Yeah.
There's no central intelligence. The red-eyed man scene takes place on a beach. So yeah, it's different.
The key parts are there.
The key elements are there. There's no ant kissing, which is upsetting. And perhaps the movie is better than the book.
Yeah, I would say that.
Because it feels a bit more sci-fi.
Yeah.
The descriptors are... It's in your face. You don't have to worry about the descriptors. Meg is forthright and a little bit stubborn in her ways, but not to the degree that she is in the book. It gets a bit much and overwhelming. And she feels more like, in the movie, for me, she's a daddy's girl. And that, she really misses her dad.
Yeah.
And that's like a driving force for her, which I get as well. I think Meg's a bit more of a sympathetic character in the movie. So yeah, it was a good translation, I think, and I think it modernised it to the degree that it needed to be, to take out some problematic elements. Calvin says how much he likes her hair in the movie. You've got really nice hair. You've got great hair. So I actually think he's jealous of her hair.
Probably.
He wants those curls.
He does not tell her to take off her glasses so she'll be beautiful?
No. No, this is not a 90s movie.
It's not every
90s teen rom-com.
90s teen rom-com. Yeah.
Am I beautiful now?
Yes, Claire, you're so beautiful. Take off your glasses.
No, I did enjoy it. And my favourite thing was Oprah's makeup.
Yes.
Yeah, fair.
Sorry, I called you a hag. I'm sorry I called you a hag because you put your glasses back on.
You know what? No, I accept that because I ascended to the higher plane of Swamp Hag during the summer, and I'm not relinquishing that title.
Yeah. It's fine.
Shall we move on?
I do want to say my surprise.
Yes.
And, originally it was that I'm just surprised that I had forgotten how, painful it is. But, again, on account of the cabin fever, I went on an adventure reading reviews of the subsequent books in the series, and I feel like if we were to cover them, it would be hilarious at how horrible they are in some of the reviews that I read. So I think it could be funny if we ever need to fill in a blank.
I have the box set sitting behind me. We can do this.
I know you do. Yeah, but that I read for so long last night about the rest of the books in the series. And then, it also splits into another series. There's, multiple things that branch off.
Hold on. You, let go. Your mini view is holding the book.
Don't drop me. Thank you.
No. It has, in the back of it, a family tree. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to show you this disturbing bit. It shows you, obviously, partners. Calvin and Meg. And then an arrow down.
Yes.
And look at all the children.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an unnecessary amount of children.
One of the things that I read, Claire, about the other books in the series was... I don't remember which one it was. I don't think it was book 2. I think book 2 was still pretty solid in most of the reviewers' opinions. But it might have been book 3. And book 3 might be where they're all quite a bit older. And the only time they say, one of the reviewers said that Meg is mentioned, it is to mention that she is pregnant. And that's the end of her part in the book.
I mean, she's going to be, because she's going to be pregnant 7 times.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it could be something worth thinking about in the future. Or in the past.
Yeah. We'll talk to our aunts and see if we can make them kiss.
Okay. Now, favorite final thought quote?
Okay, there were actually quite a few quotes in the book that I thought were cool, but I'm going to give you some that are somewhat me or book. Have you ever tried to get to your feet with sprained dignity?
That's very good.
I found that so freaking scarily relatable. Sure, I can function on the same level as everybody else. I can hold myself down, but it isn't me. A little snooze will do wonders for you right now.
Yes. Yes.
And the last one, well, just give me time, will you? I'm older than you are. Every single one was me, a book.
Yes.
A book.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, what have you got?
One thing I've learned is that you don't have to understand things for them to be. I like it. You don't have to understand it. The 5-year-old will, Chucky Walls will understand it for you. I also appreciate you will need all your anger now, which everyone knows how I feel about that being Meg's ability. I appreciate it. You will need all your anger now. And then finally, and I'm going to say this as it is said in the audiobook, but it will be the audiobook that I listened to at 2.5 times speed, so you don't die from waiting for me to finish this sentence. The only way to cope with something deadly serious is to try to treat it a little lightly. The only way to cope with something deadly serious is to try to treat it a little lightly. I like that.
I like that a lot. I do like that a lot. There were so many good quotes in the book.
Yeah.
And like we said, the general themes of it, fantastic.
Yes.
Just bear in mind, it's executed from the 1960s.
Yes. All right. Should we play Would You Rather?
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew. Well, Chucky Walls is making us a sandwich. It could be liverwurst and cream cheese. It could be lettuce and tomato. It could be tuna fish. Or we could just have bread and jam. We asked you this. But it was your 5-year-old sibling. On Facebook, on the Fictional Hangover page, there was a tie between lettuce and tomato sandwich at 40% and bread and jam. On the book club, bread and jam won with 57%. And on Instagram, tuna fish won with 50%. And we have comments.
I would like to say that no one voted for liverwurst and cream cheese.
I had a look at what liverwurst was. I wasn't sure. And it looks like pate, but not pate. Because it's made of liver.
I don't want to eat
like
that.
pate.
I don't want to
I
eat
do like pate. But I don't want pate and cream cheese sandwich. I have smoked salmon cream cheese sandwich. Annie on Facebook. I love a tomato sandwich, but only in summer, and the tomato has to be grown by me, or at least a farmer I know.
Oh, Annie. Coral says, okay, can't mess up jam and bread too much. Sounds like that's the safest bet, long as I don't have to clean up the mess.
Charles Wallace is not messy.
Chucky Walls.
Chucky Walls. Chazzy W.
Ooh, Jazzy Dub.
Chazzy Dub. Constance says, I love me a good tuna fish sandwich with some parsley flakes and celery salt. Chef's kiss.
Laura says, the preparation by a 5-year-old clinched it for me. Highest possibility of acceptable coverage and combination of flavors? Bread and jam.
Glim Glam Jen on Instagram said, right, so there is no choice. You choose your own adventure. And my younger twin siblings were feral at 5. I'm going with jam because it should be safe, but there's a 50% chance my brother will put potato chips in there too. It's really just a sandwich disappointment lottery.
Sandwich disappointment lottery is maybe one of my new favorite things.
Oh, we need that on a t-shirt. It needs to be one of the spinny things.
Yes.
And then every one is a really, really terrible sandwich option.
Yes. Yes, sandwich disappointment lottery. Yes, I need to do it. It's happening. Finally, thank you, Glam Glam Jen. We will send you one for free. Finally, Trina Reeds says, I think bread and jam will be the easiest for a 5-year-old to make that might still taste nice. If they put too much jam, I can always try and scrape some off or squeeze the sandwich so the excess comes out and flick it on a plate. I want to squeeze the sandwich.
That there sounds the voice of experience.
Yes. I'm going for the tomato sandwich. Lettuce and tomato.
And if it's a 5-year-old, don't give them the knife. Just get them to put the tomato in the bread hole.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. I'll eat it that way.
I'm going to be daring and say tuna. Because I taught my 5-year-old, now 11-year-old, from a very young age, how to cook. He doesn't do it often. He doesn't do it as much as I would like him to. But, you know, these are basic life skills.
Yeah.
And it's just a tuna.
Yeah.
The scary part is getting it out the can.
Yeah. Yeah. I like a good tuna fish sandwich, though. I like to put a lot of stuff in it. I don't want just tuna. I like to mix a lot of stuff in. Tuna salad idea.
I like cucumber.
Mm-hmm.
I like sweet corn. I like some mayonnaise to bind it all together.
Sure.
Sometimes I like to put a little bit of vinegar in to give it a zest. I like spinach for some crunch as well.
That's interesting. Yeah. I would have onion, tomato, lettuce, pickles.
Pickles, definitely.
Yeah. Could be sweet, could be dill, either one, both good. I like that. Oh, now that's what I want to eat today.
We don't really get a lot of pickle variations though. We just have like gherkin pickles.
Mm-hmm.
Like hamburger style pickles.
Also fine.
That's it. But I mean, our variation is sliced, crinkle cuts. Oh,
it's all fine. Those are all good things.
I'm gonna go and eat a pickle after this.
Yeah, I might do that too. But I'm gonna go lettuce and tomato because I like lettuce and tomato. But now that we're talking about it, I kind of do want to maybe change my answer to tuna fish.
Well, get the child to make the lettuce and tomato. You make the tuna.
Ah, yeah, there it is.
Because then you can make it how you
There
want it
it
to
is.
be.
Yeah.
I will get the tuna, but I will stand over them and criticise until they do it right.
Sure. Oh, cheese. There's also cheese in there.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I would choose the liverwurst and cream cheese, but can I just not have the liverwurst?
So just cream cheese?
Just cream cheese or smoked salmon. Anyway, next question. Before we make ourselves too hungry.
It's lunchtime for me too. It's past lunchtime. Would you rather visit Uriel, the sexy centaur Pegasus planet, or Ixal, the blind, furry, tentacle creature planet?
I want to see the sexy centaur Pegasus. I want to see this. I don't want to be stroked by a furry tentacle. That sounds invasive.
Yeah, I don't really like that. But if they would just leave me alone in the darkness, because they can't see, remember, they don't have eyes, so like there's no light there. I did appreciate that scene though in the book where they're trying to describe what sight is. Like, how do you describe that? It's impossible. So I would choose that planet, I think, minus the stroking. Like, if they just give me a warm blanket and I just get to sit in the darkness and it's like peaceful and happy.
Oh, nap time. I bring you back to the wonderful quote. A little snooze will do wonders for me right now.
Yes.
I like the fact that when they were talking about that actually, and Meg's desperately trying to describe light and sight and the sun, and Aunt Beast is like, oh, so we have the hot time and then we have the cool time. So the hot time's obviously daytime and the cool time's obviously night time. But having no sight, have no concept of this.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, you're right. That was really interesting. Which is why that was good sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going furry then?
I am. I am. I'm gonna go there for the possibility of naps, though.
For the naps, that's good.
Yeah. Doing it for the naps.
And I'm doing it for the curiosity.
Sure.
Would you rather have to rhythmically bounce a ball or skip a rope? Do you know, I remember talking not that long ago to the hubby about when I was younger and could skip properly.
Yeah.
Like properly. You know, and we used to have the double ropes in the schoolyard.
Mm-hmm.
We had triple ropes at one point. Wow. We were that good.
Yeah.
And the rope was a washing that I took in was actually an old washing line, and it was long. Like we could get an entire class in there, and it was a double rope as well.
That's fine.
You would cut your hands were red and bloody because it was such a rough rope. But we were bloody good, and the boys used to try and jump in, but they couldn't, and then they would get whipped.
Mm-hmm.
Because of trip, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But if I have to do it now, I'm rhythmically bouncing a ball.
I think I'm still going to skip the rope. I really liked jumping rope when I was a kid, and I just kind of want to do it now. I don't have a jump rope.
I would love to be able to do it now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. See my quote from earlier. Would you rather talk in quotes or really slowly?
Do you know what you reminded me of? The whale out of Dory out of Finding Nemo. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Talking quotes.
Yeah.
But not tell people where the quotes came from.
Right. Claim them as your own?
No, they've got to go and find out where they're from. And that will send them down some lovely rabbit holes.
Yeah, I do like that. Do you remember when we quoted books at each other that one time in that one clip? Oh. How many years ago was that? What is time?
What is time? It was both yesterday, tomorrow, and 6 million years ago.
Yeah.
Would you rather read the book, read the graphic novel, or watch the movie?
I want to watch the movie again. I want to watch the movie. It's all for Oprah.
I'm going to watch the movie just for Oprah.
Yeah.
And Oprah's makeup palette.
Yeah.
And the fantastic wigs. There are some beautiful wigs.
Yeah. And there's a lot of actors in this movie. There's Oprah, and there's Reese Witherspoon, and there's Mindy Kaling, and there's Chris Pine. Is he the Chris that's in it?
Yes, the good Chris. The good Chris is in it.
Yeah.
Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
Oh. Who was the red eye? I literally have the IMDb page open. Michael... Is it Michael Pena?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of good people.
There is a scene early on in the... No spoilers for the movie... where two teachers are talking shit about Mr. Murray and essentially Meg and Charles Wallace. And Charles Wallace is on a bench just a little way away from them, can hear absolutely everything, and he calls them out on it. And then they say, you shouldn't be talking to your teachers like this, you should be talking to us with respect. I was like, you've literally been talking crap about his family. No, you do not deserve respect. You do not get automatic respect of anybody. You have to earn that respect. And if he did have any for you, you have lost it. Oh.
Yeah. Now I want to go watch the movie.
Good. Yeah. After this. After what? 2 more sections, then you can go.
Yeah. Okay. If you liked this, try this. What are you going to suggest?
Right. Trying to find something with some kind of time jump kind of time is what is time.
Uh-huh.
Very difficult, actually.
Yes.
So I had a conversation with my partner, and he suggested, and he's going to read this as his book read pick for the month, because he does join in the book club, is Terry Pratchett's Night Watch. He's also going to read the Mark Lawrence. This book is Burning, the new one. Can't remember. Burn this book. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But he's going to read Night Watch first. He loves Terry Pratchett to no end. And I quote, this is from Colin, as of about 3 hours ago, I quote, arguably the best Terry Pratchett book. And I asked for clarification. Do you mean Discworld book? He went, no, Terry Pratchett book. So out of Terry Pratchett's whole body of work, he classifies Night Watch as the best one.
Colin knows what he's talking about.
He does know what he's talking about. He's an authority. So, the summary from the book. Commander Sam Vimes of Ankh-Morpork City Watch had it all, but now he's back in his own rough, tough past without even the clothes he was standing up in when the lightning struck. So he time travel. Living in the past is hard. Dying in the past is incredibly easy, but he must survive because he has a job to do. He must track down a murderer, teach his young self how to be a good copper, and change the outcome of a bloody rebellion. There's a problem. If he wins, he's got no wife, no child, no future. A Discworld tale of one city with a full chorus of street urchins, ladies of negotiable affection, rebels, secret policemen, and other children of the revolution. Truth, justice, freedom, and a hard-boiled egg. So there you go.
It's great.
What's your recommendation?
I really wanted to suggest the next book that we're talking about, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Sometimes you're going to cheat. Sometimes you're going to cheat.
I know, but this time I'm not, because I just everyone needs to know that I really like the next book that we're going to talk about before we get there. But this did inspire me to think about some other older books that I have read. Now, this is not going back to the 60s. This one is much, much newer than that. But the book that I'm going to suggest is called Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin. And it doesn't really have... Well, it's timey, but it's different.
It's a hashtag tenuous link.
It's a hashtag tenuous link for sure.
I love those.
Yeah, okay. Welcome to Elsewhere. The beaches are marvelous. It's quiet and peaceful. You can't get sick, and you'll never turn even a day older. This is where 15-year-old Liz Hall ends up after she has died. It's a place so like Earth, yet completely different. Here, Liz will age backward from the day of her death until she becomes a baby and returns to Earth. But Liz wants to turn 16, not 14 again. Ugh. She wants to get her driver's license. She wants to graduate from high school and go to college. Now that she's dead, though, Liz is forced to live a life she doesn't want with a grandmother she has never met, and it isn't going well. How can Liz let go of the only life she has ever known and embrace a new one? Is it possible that a life lived in reverse is no different from a life lived forward? It's interesting. Ooh. It's interesting.
That is interesting.
Book. Yeah.
Cool. Do you have a new one into Spotlight?
Yes, we do. This one we just got in an email. And also hashtag tenuous link. Seems good though. And looking at the cover of it, like it's got some nice sprayed edges. So this one is called The Verdant Cage. It's by Jess Laurie and it comes out on April 7th. Here's the description. The wall was built to keep them safe. Or so they thought. For as long as 17-year-old apothecary Rose Allgood can remember, the towering stone wall surrounding Noah's Valley has protected her people. No one leaves, no one fights, and no one questions why. Kind of got a Camisards vibe?
Mm-hmm.
But their paradise has been hiding its thorns. When Rose's mother becomes the valley's first murder victim and her twin brother is swiftly condemned, she alone is searching for the real killer. Determined to find the truth, she follows a trail of hidden messages, forbidden knowledge, and whispers of a past no one dares to remember. The deeper she digs, the more certain Rose becomes that her mother's death was no accident, that the wall isn't just keeping something out, it's keeping something in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That does sound good.
Yeah. Hashtag tenuous links a little bit if we force it.
You know we will.
Yeah, we're good at that. All right. That's the end of this episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss When You Reach Me by Rebecca Stead. Look out for our Would You Rather polls and monthly challenges on social media. Don't forget about our book club on Discord. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com and follow us on all social media at Fictional Hangover. If you like this episode, check out our others and be sure to rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for listening.